Hey, welcome back. This video is all about SWOMA and brain-derived neurotrophic factor, the key element that makes this entire process work. In this video, I'm going to talk about why you should care about brain-derived neurotrophic factor, why this program is designed around this key chemical, and then all of the nuanced things that you can do to ensure that BDNF stays high at critical times in your life and throughout your week. So first, why should you care about BDNF? Well, we used to think, when I say we, science and researchers used to think that you couldn't increase this chemical, that it decreased with age, and that as it decreased with age, that meant that you couldn't learn new things. And when I say you couldn't learn new things, I mean that your physiology couldn't change once you were an adult, that your metabolism was set, that you couldn't learn new skills, new languages, etc. Well, a couple decades ago, we found that brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF for short, as I'll recall it, can be increased, and it can also be decreased. Now, there's a few things that are inevitable that will happen to us that will cause the decrease of BDNF. But guess what? I've designed this entire program to help you increase BDNF, increase your ability to burn fat, and change the system within your body. Because the system, your metabolic rate, it is set when we're adolescents. And this is only because, or large in part because, BDNF is at its highest. Now, if you can remember when you were in adolescence, there's a lot of learning going on. And we need this chemical, this molecule to be high in the brain in order for those learnings to be hardwired within our system. So this is a period of time where we learn to cope with stress. We learn what foods to avoid, what foods to eat, what our preferences are, what kind of boys or people that we want to be around. Now, one of the things that BDNF can do for us is it can improve our cognition, it can enhance our mood, it can increase our ability to feel satiated from our food and satiated from our relationships, with it, which is often a really fundamental part of just being well and living well. So it is a fact now that BDNF is tied with fat metabolism. When they look at research, they see people who have higher BDNF levels circulating in their body, they typically are able to burn off fat. And then in the long term, they see that chronic weight gain is in people who have chronic low BDNF levels. So everything in this program is designed to help you upregulate BDNF and to say goodbye or help remove some lifestyle habits that maybe you adopted over time, especially during adolescence, that might be suppressing the BDNF and also suppressing your ability to see progress fast. So we want to see progress fast because when we see ourselves getting results that we want, then we're more motivated to do the thing that might be uncomfortable or might be hard to do. And so it's really important that we work with this chemical, this molecule in the brain early on in this stage. So we talk about the clearing phase. The clearing phase is clearing inflammation and also introducing good oxygen and good blood flow to the brain. This is also important for BDNF. When we decrease inflammation, we're also adopting lifestyle habits that will increase BDNF. So they kind of go hand in hand. They do go hand in hand. And so some of the ways that you can increase BDNF, I have a document, you have a document that's below this video that I want you to download and print. Actually, it's something that I even carry around with me in case I forget even, okay, what increases, what decreases. It's really helpful to see things in print. If you put it on your desk or you put it, you can hang it up on your wall or put it in your closet, just so you have this daily reminder of the things that upgrade BDNF and the things that downgrade BDNF. So one of the basic things that we're focused on is consistency and Get Fit Smarter. And that is because consistent exercise, consistent movement helps boost BDNF. So I'm going to move a little bit into SWOMA and why we adopt SWOMA and then how we use SWOMA throughout the process, but we just change maybe what it looks like depending on if you're traveling, if you are going to be with family on holidays. So maybe your time is changed, the way you're prioritizing your time. And then also if you're doing a project or you're in crunch time and you have a deadline to meet and maybe you're going to be backing off the time that you can allocate maybe to longer workouts or meal prepping and things like that. So this program is all about SWOMA, BDNF, and then how to adopt different lifestyle habits and sustain these behaviors over time, because ultimately that's what's going to change the hard wiring within your body. And so those two elements are very true. We want to keep SWOMA up and going, and keep increasing BDNF at those optimal times. So let's talk a little bit about what boosts BDNF. As we talk about these, I'm going to pause or have you pause the video and write down the ways in which you are taking action in the corresponding step that I'm going to mention. So to upgrade your BDNF levels, it is to exercise your brain and your body. So I want you to pause the video and just jot down or think about how on a daily occurrence you are exercising your brain or your body. Remember, in SWOMA, you're encouraged to do some kind of mindful movement, and that could be and some kind of a meditation. Some people do crossword puzzle or they read, and so just think about that. You can pause the video, write it down, or just reflect to yourself on how you're exercising your brain and your body. Good, you got that? If you didn't think of anything, these are things like puzzles, breaking a sweat, doing regular exercise. You could be jogging, cycling, doing one of the videos on Get Fit Smarter, but it's more about consistency. And we want to be doing these things for at least 13 minutes. That's the key takeaway. The second is intermittent fasting for brain power. Intermittent fasting is just any kind of fasting window that is over 8 to 10 hours. So that is actually considered intermittent fasting. One of the first things that you do when we meet on that one-on-one call and a little bit after that, those first 4 weeks, I say adopt a 12-hour cycle. So you want to cycle with the sun. So you're awake and you're fasting for 12 hours. 8 of those hours you're sleeping, hopefully between 7 or 8 hours, and then the tail before you go to bed and when you wake up, we're also fasting for that little bit of time. So that equals about 12 hours. So that is the key takeaway there. You want to think about if you're doing that. It's like a check or a not check. Just think if you're doing that on a daily basis. And if you're not, something's getting in your way, I want you to also write that down, maybe an obstacle that's getting in your way. I'm going to keep going through this and feed your brain nutrient-rich foods. The meal design and Get Fit Smarter is all about it. So I want you to write down one thing that is helping you get omega-3s. Yeah? If you need help, walnuts, sardines, any cold water fish really, salmon, wild-caught salmon. A lot of dairy, but organic dairy would have it too. Quinoa, broccoli, chia seed, flaxseed, those all have omega-3s in them. Snooze your way to BDNF bliss. So this is in the sleep module. How's your sleep? Just take a little reflection there, pause, and be honest about how your sleep routine's going. Waking up at the same time, going to bed at the same time most of the week. So that's like 5 days out of the week that you're consistent about getting to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time. Sunshine, that's the next big thing. Are you getting your sunshine in the morning, getting outside? Make a little note on how you're doing that. Stress less. This is an interesting topic, and there's another video for this about how to adapt to stress. We don't avoid stress. We learn skills and techniques that we do during exercise, and we train our heart and we train our vagal nerve to better respond to stress. We're not over responding to stress. That's typically when we get sick, when we get in arguments, when we self-sabotage ourselves. And that's also when that subconscious or that training that we gave our adolescent mind comes in, sneaks in, and takes over our behavior. And so we want to make sure that we're using mindfulness techniques, form of meditation. So just write that down too. What kind of mindfulness techniques? Meditation, maybe you're doing a meditative walk, or you're doing some Kundalini yoga or some Vedic meditations. And if you don't know, then that's a question or something that you would need more clarity on. So just jot that down or reflect on it. And number 7, we're going to 10, by the way, socialize for the brain. Isolation tends to deplete BDNF. So that's one of the reasons why researchers associate BDNF decline with age, because it's also a lifestyle factor. Typically, as people get older, they become more reclusive. And so that just contributes that lifestyle factor to the decrease. So good news is being a part of this program is a social aspect. So when you come to group calls and you come and you celebrate your wins and we talk about any obstacles that you're facing, this is a way of social connection. So there are different ways to connect even within this program, but then also beyond this program. You want to feel a sense of connection and a sense of joy. Ideally, you're doing that without any substance or alcohol, because I'm going to get to alcohol. Number 9 is to limit sugar. One of the things that we do, very first thing, is limit sugar sweetened beverages and anything sugar sweetened. I know it becomes a little tricky nowadays because anything that's processed could sneak some sugars in there. That's one of the things that we focus on, is eating real food. So I wanted to know or jot down or celebrate yourself if you've done a good job at eliminating those processed foods that sometimes have hidden sugars in them. And the next one is really fun. Novel experiences. Why this is so interesting is more and more researchers coming out about how creating dense memories is such a fundamental way to improve our health. So novel memories means learning a new skill. One of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm asking you to think and really reflect. And this could be a new skill too for you if you're not used to doing this and incorporating new skills. As you move through this program, you're also learning new skills. It's a novel experience. It's new. So the good news is you're boosting B.D.N.F when you go through your lessons and you start to apply some of these new things. When you have to go to the grocery store and shop for something new, or you have to start reading labels, it might seem frustrating or there's some resistance, but this is that exact moment that B.D.N.F is going to start to climb, because you need it to learn a new skill and maybe learn how to prepare your meal a little bit differently to meet that gut microbiome meal design. So all these new fun things that you're doing, even with the exercise routine too, and connecting to your mind and your body, are ways of boosting B.D.N.F. So that's really, really good news. All of the GFS exercise videos are based in that to keep you in communication with your brain body, so you are boosting B.D.N.F. B.D.N.F 6 times, boost 6 times when we do more intense exercise. And this is why in the cultivating phase, we start to intensify our workouts. So there are things that diminish B.D.N.F, and I want you now to go into the PDF and see what things diminish B.D.N.F, because you could be increasing it, but it will only last a short while if you're doing a behavior next that decreases B.D.N.F. So we want to make sure that we get B.D.N.F high and we keep it high long enough for our hardwiring within our body starts to change, and our belief structure starts to change too. What foods we crave starts to change as well. So we want to make sure that we keep it high, stays high, especially in the first 6 weeks of this process. And now you know why we give the guidelines that we do. Take a look at that and print it out. And maybe even write down some things that you do currently that could be suppressing the B.D.N.F, and start to contemplate reducing those also in your week to week. I'll see you in the next video.